everyone. It is now later in the day, later than I normally would record. I'm in the hospital, as you can tell by the equipment I am surrounded by. It's been a long day, a long, scary, hectic day. Let me tell you. Here, let me just sit up. Okay. So, it all began at 8 a.m. in the morning, right when I woke up. I had a feeling, so I checked my underwear. I had worn a pad last night, which is weird because, yesterday I had some brown discharge, and then I just decided to put on a pad, which I usually don't because it's just whatever. I usually just put on some old period underwear and call it a day. Because it's usually not super heavy. But this morning, when I woke up, I kid you not, I was covered in blood. It was just so much. And I passed a clot this big. Maybe even a little bit bigger. It was the size of a golf ball, I guess. Or a baseball, is what everyone was saying. I didn't think it was that big, but the nurses and my husband said it was the size of a golf ball. Or, I'm saying it's the size of a golf ball. Everyone else is saying it's the size of a baseball. But after I had passed the clot, I had started bleeding even more. But at the time, I just saw a bunch of blood in my pad and my underwear. I had soaked through the pad and I soaked through my underwear. So I calmly, after I saw it, my heart dropped and it immediately went to baby. So I'm rubbing my belly, hoping he's fine. I felt him moving while I was laying down, so I'm pretty sure I was fine. He was fine. But after I had gotten pants on and a shirt on, I slowly walked down the stairs, and my husband was downstairs playing a video game. And as calmly as I could, I told him, we gotta go to the emergency room. And he just ups and runs upstairs because he's still in his boxers. So he's getting dressed. I am on my way out into the car to get it started. As I was leaving, or as I was walking out the door, I felt something come out of me. And I was terrified it was my baby. Because I could just feel something forming a ball and just coming out. And then it rolled down my leg because I was wearing sweats. So there was a lot of room. But it had rolled down my leg. And I was scared to look at it, but I knew I needed to look at it, I guess. But it was just a ball of blood, just a giant blood clot. So I'm holding it in my hand as I'm walking out to my car because I'm in complete and utter shock at what had just passed through me. And I'm so I get in the car, I push the start button to get, I don't know what I was thinking, I have to be in the driver's seat, push the brake button, or push the brake and push the button at the same time to get it to start. So I'm just sitting there with the bloody clot in my hand, just thinking, is my baby okay? What is going on? Is this my placenta? Is this part of my placenta? is this just a normal giant blood clot that I just magically passed through my, my girl parts, my vagina, you know. So once my husband gets in the car. Once my husband gets in the car, we get going. And he looks at me, and he looks at the blood clot, and he's like, "Why are you holding that?" And I'm just like, I don't know, like, maybe I can give it to them and they can test it and see what it is. Like, at this point, I'm, like, in complete shock still. Like, I'm trying to keep calm so he stays calm. And he does, like, I don't want him to freak out because then it'd be a really big thing. So I was trying to just stay calm the best that I could. And once we got here, he grabbed a wheelchair and we wheeled me up to the emergency labor and delivery. And sure enough, I was actively bleeding a lot. And so they admitted me to labor and delivery. I had not eaten yet either. Like, I had just woken up, I had just gotten dressed, and we had just left. Like, I did not have time to eat. I did not have time to plan anything. Like, it was just up and let's go. Because I don't know why I'm bleeding. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if my baby's okay. So, at this point, I am starving. Like, I can hear my stomach grumbling. I can feel the, like, stomach grumbles of hunger. You could feel it. It was bad. And they're like, yeah, we can't feed you for at least two hours. 2 hours. So it's 8 o'clock. I can't eat until like 11 or 12. So, it was 11:50-ish. And, no, it was 10:50. And my husband said to call them and ask if you can eat. So I was like, fine. At like 10:55, I called them, and they walked in, and they're like, unfortunately, we don't want you to eat anything yet. We're going to give you this medication through your IV, and we're going to keep monitoring you because it looks like you're having some contractions. It looks like they're very consistent and you're getting heavier with each intervals. Like, I'll have small ones and then I'll have a big one and then I'll have small ones and then I'll have a big one. And they were like within minutes of each other, I guess, is what she was talking about. So, another like 30 minutes go by. She brings in food. They give me the okay. They told me that everything's looking good. Baby is looking perfect. He's moving. His heartbeat's strong. And they give me food. And then around 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock is when they told me that I am okay to just go to women's care unit after women basically give birth, or a place where women are waiting to be in active labor. So I'm here. I'm in that area now. I might be here for a couple of days, like possibly 2 or 3 days. It all depends on the bleeding, and it all depends on the contractions and how my body's doing. the way it looks right now, I don't think I'm going to be able to give birth vaginally, as I was hoping. It is looking more and more like a cesarean section or a C-section. So yeah. It sounded like I was almost going to be getting a C-section today, which was terrifying. I'm like, I don't want that. I want to keep him in as long as possible. They agreed. That's why they're just monitoring me. For the most part, yeah, that's basically it. I think they're just gonna keep putting the thing on me, the contraction monitor and the baby's heart monitor every so often. They haven't came in for roughly 3 hours now, so I think everything is good. They said that they're not going to do any tests or any, like, nothing too much. They just basically want me to relax, and while I'm here, just keep an eye on everything. If the bleeding starts to persist again, or if the clotting comes again, to just let them know, so that way I can be wheeled back to labor and delivery and get started on the cesarean section. So that is just what I am doing now. It's crazy how today went. I had plans today. I had plans to clean my whole house, and I had plans to go Christmas shopping, and I had plans to also just do nothing because I had work tomorrow. But it looks like I'm gonna be in here for the next couple of days. I hope it's only until tomorrow because this sucks. I just hope my baby's okay too. You know, like, I know they're doing it for me and my baby's health, but it's like deja vu all over again, because the only thing is different nurses in different room. It's just crazy. Like, when I first came in, they had me in the exam room from 8 to 3, and now I'm just chilling in women's care unit until whenever they decide that I'm okay, that I'm no longer hurting like no contractions, no pain, no bleeding, no clotting. Like, all of that has to be done before I can go home, because it's just crazy. So I've just been playing a lot of games on my phone, watching some videos, watching some TV. My husband was here, but he left at 2. And he said he's going to come back because he doesn't want me to be alone. But we'll see. I'm tired. Like, it was like an abrupt wake up. Like, I woke up at 5 in the morning, and I did not turn on any lights, which I kind of regret, because maybe I could have caught it sooner when it was just barely bleeding. But so far, there's not really much we could do. They told me to keep track of my contractions, or to, like, monitor the contractions, but I don't know what contractions feel like. And when they explained it, they said that it was like period cramps, but I've never had period cramps. So I'm just like, this is gonna be fun. I'm going in at this blindly. Like, the worst time that I've ever had cramps was when I miscarried my first baby. And that was like the worst time. So it all happened in the same day. Like, this is a different story now. Like, I don't know. It just made me think of it. But, my first pregnancy, when I first found out, I was like 4 or 5 weeks. Not very far along at all, but I had taken a test a week prior and they came up positive. Took 3 tests because I couldn't believe it. And I had a bunch of pregnancy tests. Like, I had Clear Blue, I had First Response, I had the cheap Walmart ones, I had like the cheap Amazon tests that detected those, or pregnancy and hormone. So I took them all. And then after I took the 3, like, I took 4 because I took the cheapy one as well. So I took the cheapy one, 2 First Responses, and then I took a Clear Blue Digital. I was so happy. This was around like April. It was April that I found out that I was pregnant. So after I found out that I was pregnant, my husband was at the store. My husband was at work, sorry. I went to the store. My husband was at work, and I wanted to surprise him in a really cute way. So I, bought a little cute onesie. I wrapped I put the pregnancy test at the very bottom, and then I put the onesie on top in a little gift bag, and I gave it to him when I saw him. I recorded the whole entire thing, but I was just so devastated and so sad that I ended up deleting the video. So I kind of regret doing that. But we were so happy. He was so happy. Like, the video didn't even show how happy he was. Like, he's not very good at showing expression. So when you would see it as a person who didn't, know him, you would just think he didn't care. Or that, I don't know. But after I stopped recording, he got more giddy and more like excited, and he was hugging me and kissing me, and like, oh my God, we're having a baby. Like, just, oh, it was so cute. But after I had found out a week later, I had a weird feeling and that I just needed to take a pregnancy test. I took 4 of my last pregnancy tests, and I could just see each different pregnancy test line getting fainter and fainter to basically non-existent on some of them. And I was just sitting on the bathroom floor in tears, bawling my eyes out for like 20 minutes. My husband was downstairs. I think he was either watching a movie or playing a video game, one of the two. He always does one of the two. I don't know which one it was. But, I try to get myself in control, and I took the tests and I handed them to him because I could not speak. Like, I was just so devastated. And he looked at them, and he looked at me, and he looked back at the test, and he's like, "Are you serious? Like, this is a joke, right?" And I'm like, I wish it was. I really do. You know, like, I would never joke about that, though. Like, I just started bawling, and he pulled me close onto his lap, and I cried and cried. But, I let myself grieve for a little bit. Like, I didn't want to dwell on it because it was more of a reminder of, like, hey, you got this. You can get pregnant now. Like, this is a good thing. Like, I was trying to make it into a positive because me and him have been trying for 2 years. Technically 3, but I just barely got off birth control that first year. So I was like, wasn't expecting to get pregnant that first year because my body's still regulating its hormones and figuring its shit out after, you know, having the birth control in me. Even though I heard Nexplanon doesn't cause too much fertility problems and you should be able to get pregnant like 3 months after taking it out. But no, we were just having problems. And after the first year went by, I was like, fine, you know, like, maybe it was just me getting off the birth control. So the second year came around. And still nothing happened. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should talk to someone. So we kind of started talking to my OB, and they did a bunch of tests and ultrasounds on me and him, and he came back completely normal. I don't know if I told you this story already, but if I did and I'm repeating it, I'm sorry. But no, he came back completely normal. I came back completely normal on my hormone side. Like, nothing was wrong with my hormones. I was releasing eggs. Everything from a health standpoint, I was perfect, basically. When it came to my ultrasound, I found out that I had PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, for some of you who don't know. On my left ovary, I had a bunch of little cysts on my ovaries and fallopian tube. They weren't huge, but they were like so many of them that it looked like the eggs couldn't release properly. And I had some on my right side as well, but not as much. So, my doctor had originally prescribed me Clomid, which helps boost fertility a little bit more for people who struggle to get pregnant. But with someone with PCOS, that's a little bit more trickier. So the medication doesn't always work, is what I'm trying to say. But she prescribed me with Letrozole, which is a lot better prescription for someone with PCOS to get pregnant faster, which is when I had taken it 3 months, and because it's a 3-month prescription. But I took it for 3 months and nothing happened. This is now year 3. I had just barely went back into my OB and she prescribed those. So this is now year 3 of trying. 3 months in, letrozole. I still didn't get pregnant, and I was just about to refill the I did refill the prescription. And once I refilled the prescription is when I found out I was pregnant with my first baby that I had just miscarried. Which now I used which I was very upset. I gave myself like a couple weeks to grieve the baby that we had just lost. But then it gave me hope and basically showed me that, look, you can get pregnant. And it was just kind of more surreal after I had grieved all of that. But I think the nurse is going to come in soon and give me food. So I'm going to end this video here. If you want to hear more on my stories, just give me this video a like, subscribe, and I will probably update you guys again tomorrow since I'll have nothing else to do. But so far, none of the doctors or nurses have come back in. So it's just basically a waiting game. Baby is definitely healthy and moving, and his heartbeat is 130 from the last they checked. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.